everyone, Jamie Makes here from MISC Paper, and today I'm sharing a flip through of the 4 monthly / annual projects I've been working on this year. So I have two 6x8 albums that I use for these projects. This one is entirely my reading record, and this one houses my dates, my entertainment archive together in one. So let me start with the reading record. These are albums from Allie Edwards, and I'll just give you a quick flip through of what this looks like today as I'm filming. So I have done everything through June on each of these projects that I'm showing you today. So I tend to work, so like this is August. I finished all of the June pages in August. So in September, I'll be working on July. And every month I am just adding in the books that I've read, the books that I've purchased, and then also I'm tracking stuff just in a couple of different ways. Like I'm keeping track of the larger books that I've read, those books that have over 500 pages, the books that I've given 5-star reviews to, which I have not done any this year so far, and then here are all the 4-star reviews that I've given, which there are a lot. And then I do my monthly recaps, which these are the fun decorative pages that I really love to do. And it's just recapping what I read in a given month, and then also talking about what was from my bookshelf, what was from the library, and whether I read them digitally, a paper copy, audio copy, talking through what is fiction and nonfiction, and then also the number of pages I've read. And so I've printed it out so that I have one to document every month of the year. And then I have an additional section that is all about authors, and that's where I'm keeping track and making sure that I'm reading a diverse group of authors. I really want to make sure that I'm diversifying beyond just reading Caucasian authors from Europe and the United States. So I track these, and I just by adding the little book covers to each of the categories, just to make sure that I am I'm keeping up with these goals that I have of making sure to read diversely. And then also I have some specific goals, like my husband and I are planning a trip to South Africa next year. So I'm really wanting to read books by South African authors. If you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them. I have a few books. I think I have like 2 other books that I've purchased to read here, but also I can go to the library and stuff like that. I work for the San Antonio Book Festival, and so these are some of the authors that were part of the 2024 lineup. So I've read their books, and then also books that were not necessarily part of the lineup, but were from previous years, or not necessarily from the lineup. So for example, Silver Nitrate by Silvia Moreno Garcia was part of our lineup, but then I just also want to generally read more from Silvia, and so I've read others of her books, and so I wanted to include that in this. I also keep track just in general of what genres I'm reading in. So fiction, I really just have general nonfiction, and then autobiography, memoir, or biography, because this is my favorite type of nonfiction. I read and or listen to it a lot, as you can see. So this is the only nonfiction that I'm keeping track of, and the rest is all fiction. So here's the contemporary fiction that I've read this year, the historical fiction, and you notice that I'm starting on the right hand side of the page. And that's really because in some instances, like literature, for example, I really don't think that I'm going to be able to make it all the way across. And so I'd rather just have this one page that I can mix in with other one-pagers versus having this whole extra empty page. And this, at the moment, is only documenting books that I've read in 2024. But I'm considering the possibility of continuing to add to these categories, like the authors and the genres, and then potentially also for my color, the book cover colors that I do in the back. I might continue using these exact same pages in 2025. I might not stick solely to 2024 books, but we'll see. I have yet to really consider how I'm going to approach this in 2025. And then the last section I have here are the cover colors, which I think are super fun. So every month I am pulling these are the books that I've read throughout the year, and every month I'm printing like an extra one of the book covers to put in one of these categories. Now, none of these pages are decorated yet. I've been really remiss about decorating them. I love adding stamping to these pages, and that's kind of why these are so kind of bare, because I really want to have the opportunity to decorate them on my own, but have some sort of title indicative of what the page is documenting, but also that there's a little bit of continuity between all the pages because they have this title at the top. So lots of blue covers, no surprise there. Blue covers tend to be what the publishers go for some reason. I'm not really sure, but there's always lots of blue covers. This year I've had a few more purples than I did in previous years, which is kind of fun. And also I'm categorizing these the way that I want to categorize them. So yes, this is primarily black and white, but the title's in purple, and I thought, hey, let's just stick this in the purple section. And same here, like, I don't even know if you can really tell unless you're looking closely, but there's a lot of purple in this photo alongside the black and the teal and the yellow. But again, I like having stuff in the purple section, so I added them there. And I fully intend to continue to decorate these pages, which is why I'm considering taking them with me into 2025, because if I'm going to do all the work to decorate them, I definitely want to continue to utilize them. And so these are already some pages that I pulled out because I don't know, I decided that I wasn't going to track for whatever reason, or maybe I just knew that there weren't going to be many books for a specific category or color, but I am loving updating this every single month. Really, the only thing that I'm sharing online on my socials are these monthly trackers. So I thought that's why I decided to do this video. I thought it'd be a good idea so that you could see what the rest of the album looks like in addition to these overview pages of what I have read in a specific month. I am loving that. So let's move on to the other annual projects that I am working on this year, and I keep them together in one album. So in 2023, I did a whole 23 dates in 2023 album, and I loved it because it was keeping track of all the fun things my husband and I made sure to get out and do in our new hometown post-COVID. Just really wanted to make sure that we weren't just kind of hanging out on the couch as we had been doing for several years. So I started this album, and then I've also added to the back a little bit as well. And I'll explain that in just a second. But so the first section here is about our dates, and I used an Ali Edwards like love themed kit. It was a one-off kit that they did. It might have been one of the quarterly kits. I'm guessing. I'm not really sure what series it was part of, but this is where some of the paper came from. So this was a piece of paper that came with it. And then I need to go back and fill out this kind of, I'm calling it a survey page. I just think it's cute and want to update it for my album as well. And then at the beginning of the year, I had laid out some ideas for dates that we could potentially have and plan to continue to note when we have done something. So I just think it's kind of fun. It's kind of like bingo, but I'm not like trying to get out in line or anything like that. These are just ideas for us to try to make sure that we were doing something in nature, doing something with art, doing something with Christmas lights, and maybe visiting the hill country, that kind of thing. So I really love just this little tracker at the beginning. And my friend Laura Wanzik was the one who helped me title this because I wasn't sure how to title it, and she came up with TBD, to be dated. And I love that. So I just ended up printing. I used a notebook from Studio Calico that I cut apart, and then I put this single piece of paper in my printer and printed out the little squares that you see here. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure that's what I did, because I was 99% sure that I did not use like clear sticker paper. I didn't. I printed directly onto this page. And then I have a very specific format for how I am documenting all of our dates. So for each date, I am doing one 4x8 layout and one 6x8 pocket page, 4 pocket configuration card, four 4-card, 4-pocket configuration for each date. And that's really because I want to have some kind of formula that flows throughout the album so that I am also utilizing my stash and actually utilizing 3x4 cards, because I have plenty. I don't really buy them anymore because I have so many, and I want to be utilizing them. And this is the only project that I actually use 3x4 cards for. So this is my small attempt at trying to get rid of some stash. But so what I do, like I said, is have one full kind of layout and 4 cards, and I document the date number. I do the journaling, and then I make sure to always include the date that the date occurred. And then I try to pick up ephemera as I can. I'll put in extra photos and things so you can see it's the same exact formula, all new products, all new color scheme. And it just kind of depends on how many photos I have and what other ephemera I might have as to how things get laid out. So here is the date number, the date of the date, and then also my journaling about it. I did have some ephemera, but it was digital. So I ended up printing out a little fake ticket that I made along with the poster for this particular comedy show that we went to. And then I just did a little layout here. So we went and saw the movie American Fiction, which is incredibly fantastic. I found this awesome piece of paper in a Studio Calico notebook that was amazing. And then I knew that I wanted to add some stills from the movie. So I actually printed these on vellum because I wanted them to be a little bit more washed out, and added them inside of the frames, and then just did some stamping, and really, really love how this came together. But again, here's date number 3, that it is from January 30th. And then here is our journaling about that. So we went and got Jamaican food, and like sometimes our dates are as simple as this. You know, we're just going out to eat dinner, but we're planning on getting out of the house and like having a nice meal together and just catching up with each other. And yeah, it's been really fun. I love this project that we get to do, or this project that I've done, and that we get to do all of these amazing fun dates. This was a breakfast brunch that we did because we hadn't been to breakfast or to like out to breakfast or out to brunch in a while. So we went to a place that we've been wanting to try for forever. This one we took my mom to see a comedy show. Nate Bargatze was in San Antonio, so we took her with us and had a fantastic time. Here is a coaster from the restaurant where we had dinner, and I got to learn a lot of, I got to learn some family history about this bar actually, so that was kind of nice. It's nice coming back to your hometown and finding out stories about family and things that you never knew before, even though you grew up and you lived here back in the day. So again, this was just a simple date. We went to dinner. I was really wanting some crab bisque, so I found a place and we went and had that for dinner, and I documented it. Okay, and here was date number 8. We went downtown to visit a famous skyscraper in our city, one of the first skyscrapers that existed in this part of the world, and they were doing tours, so we did that along with dinner. And that included my mom and my brother. And then it's just, again, the same kind of situation. A layout with the pocket cards. This is date number 9, took place in May, and we did our journaling here. And then this is the end of May. This was the last date we did in May, despite the fact that it says July. That was a mistake on my part. I stamped the wrong date. But we went and did some vintage hunting. I used this really great Studio Calico paper to document that, and created, again, my pocket cards with this is date number 10, the date and our journaling. I made a boo-boo here and dropped my entire black ink pad onto this guy. So I then added smudges elsewhere to try to make it look intentional. It doesn't look that intentional, but I'm fine with it. It's no big deal. And when I'm working on these, I'm typically working on them in a batch. So these are the 3 May dates that we went on. And so I worked on all of these at the same time. I printed all the photos and just kind of worked in a batch process. Even though it's different products and different things, I batched all the photo editing and printing and worked on these pages individually, but like over the same weekend. And then if you continue flipping through here, I have some extra page protectors and things included. This section holds my entertainment archive. So I've been sharing these monthly as we go, and this project has changed already from January through to June, which is what is in here, because I was just trying to find my flow and figure out my way with this project. So it essentially includes a similar process to my reading record, but in this one I am specifically focused on any TV, movies, shows, comedy specials, documentaries, podcasts, things that we've seen live in person. All of our entertainment for a specific month I'm including here, and I'm just again using little photos like I do with the reading record. These are 1.5 inch high. And then I'm just decorating and adding various odds and ends. So using labels, definitely utilizing the fun media themed stamp sets that I have. A lot of these are from Everyday Explorers Co. And so the first 2 months I kind of laid it out where these were long lines of video or images, and then I added stuff in between, above and below. And then this month I did it totally differently, and I put all of the media here on one side. I made an actual printed out list, and then I just journaled about 6 different things, and I color coded them to where this section matches this show, and you see the photo over here that also has the little pink circle sticker. And I did that again in April. I really liked how that worked. I like mixing this text in with the icon images and then also some of my handwriting. And then in May, I switched it up again, and I did kind of a similar to what I did the first couple months, but I blocked it out to where there was a line of the posters and promo images, and then some journaling between. And then I made it jump around on the page a bit so that there was a little bit more dynamic flow on here. So I did that in May, and then I replicated it in June. And I just really, really love how this project has come together. And I am super happy that I decided to document it this way after getting help from my online friend Meg. I believe her handle is Scrapbook Travel Sleep Repeat. I may have gotten the words out of order, but that's Meg. And after this section, I have just one page because, you know, I don't really like to put a limit on myself when it comes to my documenting. So I made one outside the page protector 7 by 8 inch page this year using a Cocoa Daisy kit, and so I just added it to the back here, and I love this. There aren't going to be too many pages like this that I put together for 2024 because this isn't really how I document my years. I will show that to you next, but I definitely just wanted to have a place if there's any physical photos that I would incorporate here.
Okay, and so this is my yearbook project that I have been working on. It is something that I work on monthly, and again, I'm working like 2 months behind. So these are all of the pages that I've made from January to June, and they are all digital. I have created a few templates for myself to utilize for these. I didn't really do that until February, and so then I had to go back and get I had to go back and kind of reassess January to see what needed to be updated and what could stay the same. And so it's slightly different from the rest of the pages that I've made, but not too out of what I've been doing. So I essentially am just pulling all of the images together that I wish that I would take the time to make actual pages for. But there's so many little stories to tell, and I just know that it would be way too much work for me to try to document these, to print all the photos, to edit all the photos, to print all the photos, then to make all the little pages. Like, I just know that I won't do it. So this is my attempt at fixing that and being able to collect all of the small little stories that happen throughout the year, all the pictures that I receive from my family, from their kiddos, all the little everyday images that we take here at the house, lots of pet photos. We have 4 animals in the house. My mom has 3 animals in her house, so we have lots of pet photos. And then they're just little one-off pages, or a series of 3 small stories that can be told using just one photo. And if it is the case that I have multiple photos that I want to do to tell a story about, I will utilize one of Nancy Damiano's Dash notebook printables that I incorporate into this, and I use InDesign to put it all together. And I love the balance that it provides, because it's like something really pretty and decorative against maybe just, like in this case, a full page photo, or it's the 3-story pages that I make with the 3 little frames and then a bit of digital pattern paper on one side. I primarily use Studio Calico's digital kits. I really love those. I subscribe, and so I get one every month that I like to play with and utilize and try to get as many pieces out of as I can. And sometimes I'll go back to previous months or to my stash of digital projects and pull in like stamps or other papers if I think that they will work better. But for the most part, I tend to stick to the kit from that month to work on each month's pages. And I just pick one of the 6x8 papers that I like the best and utilize that as my title page, just to break up the what will be a photo book one of these days, so that you are aware that time is passing and that we're into a new section of the photo book. So these are 8x10 pages. Again, they're all digitally made, and I plan to get these printed into 1, possibly 2 8x10 blurb books at the end of the year. We'll see how many pages I end up with. And yeah, I just really love this project. It has become really simple and easy for me to do. And if it wasn't simple and easy, I would not continue doing this, because I have tried to do something like this in the past and didn't succeed. So I am happy to have found something that is working for me, which is this formula of either a Dash notebook printable page, or these 3 photos on one page, or sometimes a full page photo that I just add little pieces on. I love all the color. I love that I can get many photos and stories told this way. I'm averaging about like 17 to 20 pages a month, which I think is pretty good, and I'm telling tons and tons of stories within those pages, so I really love that. I'm trying to not buy all the digital supplies. I'm really trying to stick to the Studio Calico monthly kits, but there are definitely times when, if Studio Calico, for example, is having a sale, I'll pick up some things that are really cheap, and I try to keep it to a minimum, because I really don't want to be overwhelmed by supplies for this project. I really just want it to be streamlined and simple, and something that I continue to want to do. And so far this year, I've managed to continue to want to do this, and for that, I am so excited. I think last year when I tried it, I only got 3 months worth of pages made, and look at me, it's already 6 months of pages, and I don't intend to stop anytime soon. So I'm happy to have figured this out, and excited to see this in physical form one of these days.
here. So these are the projects that I have been working on throughout the year, and these are the projects that I will continue to work on and update here on YouTube. So if you're interested in seeing how I continue to put together pages for my date album, for my entertainment archive, for my reading record, and for my yearbook, please be sure to subscribe, to tune back in, just to see when I update on those specific projects. So I'm really excited that I've kind of figured out something that's really working well for me, and I have a plan for how I will tackle these same projects in 2025, and I will be talking with you guys more about that soon.
I posted many of these projects over on Instagram at MISC Paper. That's MISC Paper. You can click on the link in my YouTube banner. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and or subscribe to my channel. I appreciate you. Jamie Makes, signing off.